Turning it up, they feeling the heat, so they searching for pools. Tripping on me cause I'm doing my thing and they hoping that I'll be the fool. Taking the game and I'm screwing it up while these boys still searching and looking for tools. Playing it cool, faking it's who. Yeah, they look mad cause I'm breaking the rules. Breaking it loose while I'm breaking some news. Give me your pride and I'm breaking that too. They ain't ahead of us. They don't compare to us. They feeling the kick cause they hearing the change like I open the register. Flexing on tracks cause this thing is not optional. Leg day is coming, I'm jumping the obstacles. Laughing at haters, we thinking it's comical. Yelling outside like we yelling out dominoes. Always be claiming they monsters. Boy, go get you a sponsor. All of that chatting, all of that acting, gon' mess around, get you an Oscar. They calling me Terrence, I hustle and flow. They all on my line cause I'm still in the vote. Your girl all on me cause she feeling the stroke. Make them say whoa when I'm hitting my woe. Talking like I do not got it. You talking like your boy is not it. When you talk, all I hear is yappa, yappa, yada, 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 yada. Most of your favorites ain't dealing with me. Pouring it up like the end of the week. You don't let us in, we still in the keys. We coming from nothing and ending the street. Aiming at throats and taking out knees. They feeling the pressure and know they can't breathe. Winning the races and taking the places and walking they stages like it's a degree. Feel it in your veins, it's a dope flow. Got the whole game in a chokehold. They taking too long, you can't see me now. Put them in boxes like photos. Packing the bags and hitting new land. I do what I want.
What's up, Kings fans? We're about to get this show started shortly, so make sure you smash up that like button, hit that subscribe button, and tell me in the chat what you think went wrong tonight.
Steps too long. It's time to wake them up. They have slept too long. Zip. Remember when you was crying over tests? You know I held you tight while your head was on my chest. I wanna go back to the times we didn't stress. Everything was black and white, something like a ref. I swear our love is slept on. You can have my left arm. Your friends was talking mess, but you was never crept on. Your mind was saying that, your friends was saying this. I ain't never raised my voice, never once called you a I know as a woman, a lot is on your mind.
Welcome to Royal Rebounds TV with Calvin and Barry. Just two crazy fans of the Sacramento Kings and they sharing their opinion. So be sure that you subscribe. It's for the fans, by the fans. Whether you chilling on the couch or wilding in the stands. For laid back conversations about the Kings, subscribe here. Staying down until we come up thinking this gon' be our year. We're here drinking beer, talking about the Kings. Be sure you subscribe so you can hear that bell ring. Yeah.
What's up, Kings fans? Welcome back to Royal Rebounds, the Sacramento Kings YouTube channel for fans, by fans. Unfortunately, the Sacramento Kings lose tonight, 132-109 to the Boston Celtics at home. This was a back-to-back for the Sacramento Kings. Still no Kevin Huerter, and all the Celtics stars played tonight. They've had, 3 days off or so. The Kings are on a back-to-back. A tough stretch of games, 5 games in 7 nights. The Kings looked extremely tired in this game. And I'm sure I'm probably going to explode about the refs here. So we'll definitely talk about that. But welcome in, everybody. Shout out to all my Royal family members here. Alfie Man, Charles, Matthew. It's good to see you all. Matthew, hopefully you watched the last stream. Calvin did answer your question about the sky hook. So make sure you check that out. Also, shout out to everybody else that's watching. Bouncer is here. Mike Monticello is here. Tito is here. Logan Erslow. It's good to see you all. Welcome in. Welcome in. First off, don't forget to smash up that like button. Hit that subscribe button. We are live after every single Kings game. It's Tuesday, as Alfie Man said. Another Taco Tuesday ruined, Calvin, by a Sacramento Kings loss. But how are you today?
I'm good. A little frustrated like everybody is after watching that game.
Yep.
But trying to keep everything in perspective like Charles is here. A lot of games, 5 games in 7 days. They played a bunch back-to-back. Probably a little tired, not to say that that's an excuse, but, it's likely that they are. And this is a great team they were playing today as well.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. This is a incredible basketball team. I know I've been saying this over and over again. I'll say it again. Kings fans are reevaluating their expectations for this team. And the Boston Celtics are an incredible basketball team. Now, I'm not making any excuses. The Kings look tired tonight. Not happy with the refereeing in this game, especially at the end of the second quarter and into that third quarter. Not happy with a bunch of that. It definitely gave the Celtics some momentum, which I was not happy about. But, I mean, people are talking about playoff basketball. This is playoff basketball. I mean, I agree with that, and I don't, Calvin, because at the same time, in the playoffs, you're not playing 5 games in 7 nights, which is what the Kings are doing tonight, which I'm not saying is an excuse, but you have to understand where they're at. That's a lot of basketball to be playing in 7 days, 3 different time zones for the Kings. They've been all over the place. So I can understand why they'd be a little bit tired and not ready for this game as opposed to a Boston Celtics team that's had a bunch of rest. So I definitely get that. But simply the Kings didn't make enough shots. They turned the ball over too much. They looked sloppy last night and tonight. It looked like almost a continuation outside of the first quarter of this game because I was really happy with the first quarter for the Sacramento Kings. I love how they were sticking with it. They were aggressive. They were active. And then it all fell apart there. What were your first thoughts?
Well, number one, I thought they were definitely more ready for this game than they were for last night's game against the Jazz. The first quarters, obviously night and day difference. They hit a lot of threes, as you mentioned, in that first quarter. That was really the only reason that they were leading or kept this game close at all because Boston was missing a ton of shots in the first quarter. Once they started knocking down shots that they regularly make, it became a game of keep pace. And the Kings were not able to do that because they had trouble getting inside, and they started to miss shots from the outside as well. They were hot in the first quarter. But I thought, energy-wise and just being ready for the game, it was much better tonight, which I expected that. I mean, you come back home, you just had a rough game where you gave up a huge, huge lead early on. You're also playing one of the best teams in the NBA. There was absolutely no reason for you not to be ready to play today. Boston is just an incredibly good team that wore them down over the course of the game.
Yep.
I mean, this starting 5 for Boston maybe doesn't get talked about enough with how good they are.
Sorry to interrupt you, Calvin.
One of the worst matchups for the Kings.
I want to listen to Mike Brown, listen to his interview tonight, see how he's doing.
We all got our behinds kicked. There's nothing tricky or hidden behind what I'm saying. What's up, Logan? How you doing? They switched everything and turned us over. We had 14 turnovers, and they capitalized off almost every turnover, so they beat us in a turnover game. They had 5 turnovers, and we scored 6 points off their 5 turnovers, so right there they outscored us by 15 points in the turnover game. And then in the second chance game, we did get 10 offensive rebounds. They only got 11, but every single rebound that they got, they seemed to hit a 3 or get a big bucket, and so they outscored us by 12 there, and that's the ball game, And you got 2 guys like Tatum and Brown, they're load, and we didn't have an answer for them. So you got to give the Celtics credit. Nothing else I can say besides what the facts are.
Coaches don't like to use tired legs much, and we talked about pregame, the 5 and 7 nights. How much is tonight kind of a factor of that?
I mean, everybody has to play these types of games, and so you got to go lace them up. You got to play them, and whatever happens, happens. And I mean, were the guys tired? Probably, but at the end of the day, you still got to say what happened out on the floor, and those are things that happen on the floor.
Mike, when you go against a defense like Boston's, what's the counter that you guys have to have when they're forcing you into maybe a little too much ISO and one-on-one type stuff?
You got to play with a pace in the half court. Like you got to sprint out in the screen sometimes and slip to the rim to cause a chain reaction. Your cuts have to be extremely hard. The ball has to be moved and crisp. And if you catch the ball and somebody's closing out to you, you can't hesitate. Like we had so many times where the ball got swung after they're switching, and even if they messed it up a little bit, when you hold it, all you're doing is letting them get back in front, and then you got to shoot the ball when you're open. I mean, there were a couple of times we were wide open and we dribbled into traffic. One of the things our guys are going to have to understand is come playoff time, the best shot's an open shot, because those are going to be hard to come by. And if we keep passing up open shots and driving into traffic and trying to make a play or force the action, we're going to be in trouble. But they're switching really bothered us. We couldn't score inside, we couldn't score outside really, and you're going to have to play with some pace and slip to the rim to put some pressure on the rim to cause the defense to collapse a little bit, whether it's by a drive or, like I said, just a cut. And then that's when you can get a good look with a spray three or a snap drive trying to get to the rim because their defense isn't really set.
Mike, it seems like Davion is getting a lot more comfortable offensively and running that second unit. I'm just curious your assessment on how he's played these last couple of games and just his development over the course of this year.
Davion's been really good. He's been really, really good on both ends of the floor, and there hasn't been, many times I can think back where I could say he's been a liability on either side of the floor. He's probably the one guy that especially these last couple of games, that has been as close to playing on both sides of the ball at the highest level on our team when it comes to naming that person. So I'm happy with Davion's development. Again, the sky's the limit for him as a young guy. He's just so tough, and he's always taking on the challenge, and you like that from anybody on your team.
Yeah, Mike, a couple of games here without Kevin. What do you expect from him? Should we expect him later in the week, or is it still going to be a little while before we see him on the court?
No, again, we'll have tomorrow off, which is great for him, and then we'll have a practice day, and so we'll be able to take a look at him tomorrow, and then again, I think it's Wednesday at practice, and we'll see. But this time off has been great, especially when you're talking about the muscle injury that he had, and so to be able to rest it was a good thing.
Yeah, Coach, what stood out to you with Boston only having 5 turnovers, and how much do you think that impacted your offense on the other end?
Is it still playing?
Well, it impacted us a lot in terms of the outcome of the game because we had 14. When you play a good team, in order to have a chance to win the game, you got to win the possession game, and that involves turnovers, free throw attempts, and offensive rebounds. And like I said, to start my press.
All right, Calvin. I mean, what's he going to say, right? He lost a good game to the Boston Celtics. I mean, you want to break down some of the things that he said, what you agree with, what you might disagree with?
I don't disagree with anything that he said. I just think that this Boston team is probably one of the toughest, if not the toughest matchups. They're a tough matchup for any team in the NBA, but especially for Sacramento, because the Kings can a lot of times, even when they play good defensive teams, they're still able to find ways to score and kind of be able to make adjustments in game when a defense is giving them trouble, whether it's a switch to a zone or something like that, that they can eventually crack it, and they're still going to score enough points to keep pace or to be in it late. Mm-hmm. Boston has been one of the highest scoring teams in the NBA all season long. They're also a fantastic defensive team. And if you look at the Kings, who we all know don't play great defense, I'm not really sure what you do, what the game plan is for Mike Brown playing against a team like Boston, because first of all, they're so patient, they're so disciplined, they have so many great shooters out there. I mean, if you look at their starting lineup, every single player for Boston's starting lineup took at least 5 threes, and most of them took more than 7. They shoot it all over the place from many different locations, and they're really, really patient. Like I said, they've got 2 great one-on-one players that even if you play good defense, for most of the shot clock or most of the possession, they can neutralize good defense because Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are big physical guards that go downhill. They get a lot of fouls called like we saw today. And they also just will slowly make you wear down where all it takes is one dribble penetration, a kick out to a three. Even if you close out well on that first one, they'll just swing it and do the same thing again. So they put a ton of pressure on your defense with being able to spread the floor so wide. Since all of them are great shooters, you really, really make things difficult on teams that way. And then defensively, they're phenomenal as well because they switch everything. They run a lot of guard action switches, which cause Sacramento a lot of problems. A lot of people have an issue with the fouls in this game, and I do think there is one part of that where you can definitely make a case. I think that the game is definitely called or officiated differently for guards or wing players than it is for big guys inside now. You don't have a lot of traditional post-up players anymore in the NBA. A lot of guys are spread bigs and more athletic. Sabonis is really a tremendously skilled player and does so much, right? But his bread and butter is give me the ball on the low block and let me out physical you. I don't think that officials are really calling the game the same way for those types of players as they are for, let's say, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Because like I said, they're big, they initiate contact. It looks like a foul because usually they have a smaller guy on them, and that smaller defender will obviously, have some sort of reaction to the impact when those guys are driving at them, right? It's a full speed sort of a play. Also, Sabonis is doing most of this from a standstill. It's pivots, it's pump fakes, all of that stuff. So I do think there's a lot more contact going on that maybe isn't called for those plays as opposed to guys like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and that's why you see them get to the free throw line so much. That would be the issue that I had with the officiating in this game. But other than that, I mean, the Kings definitely can't blame the refs for this loss. They just got absolutely outworked and outplayed in really every area of this game except for the first quarter when they were able to hit a bunch of threes.
Definitely. Matthew, I tried to bring you up on stage here. If you want to try and request again, I'm happy to bring you up. And then, Nick, of course, we're going to get to you. But some breaking news here. Want to give a little shout-out to Charles here for bringing it to my attention. The Clippers are losing right now to Oklahoma City. And Paul George just left the game with what looks like, quote-unquote, at least a badly hyperextended knee.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Paul George leaves the game with a knee injury. We will see what happens. Big news. I mean, we're 3.5 weeks away from the playoffs, so that is absolutely wild. Anyways, back to the game tonight. I want to go over the box score. So, Domas Sabonis, 37 minutes of action. Calvin, triple-double alert for Domas Sabonis. I feel like we need a button. Triple-double, bam. 16 points, 13 rebounds, and 12 assists tonight. 7 of 12 from the field. Missed a bunch of free throws in the game tonight. I mean, both teams missed
a lot of free throws.
We'll definitely talk about that. And Urslo wants to talk about the plus-minus a little bit. I'll let you handle that here as soon as I'm done with the box score. Harrison Barnes, 25 minutes of action, 11 points, 5 rebounds, and an assist. Kessler Edwards gets his third start in a Kings jersey. 20 minutes for him tonight, 3 of 5 from the field, 2 of 4 from three-point range, 8 points, 3 rebounds, and an assist tonight. Keegan Murray makes 3 more threes tonight, Calvin. 39 minutes of action for him, 15 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. De'Aaron Fox, 18 points, leads all scorers for the Kings. Calvin, I mean, we talked about that record, Kings record, when De'Aaron Fox leads the team in scoring. It's drifting away from 500, not in a good direction. But 18 points for him tonight, a rebound and 3 assists. And then the bench. I mean, basically, Davion Mitchell was on fire for a portion of this game. 5 of 8 from the field, 3 of 5 from three-point range, 13 points for him, 12 points for Terrence Davis. The rest of the bench couldn't hit the side of a barn, Calvin. I mean, Rashawn Holmes, 5 minutes of action, 5 points for him, 100% from the field, but Malik Monk, 1 of 7, 0 of 4 from three-point range, only 6 points. Trey Lyles, 0 points for him. Another rough go for the Kings.
Yeah, very rough go. And, I mean, that's why the plus-minus numbers are obviously going to be very lopsided. I mean, I'm not sure if you want to talk about a specific aspect of plus minus. In most blowouts, it's going to be one team has a huge advantage in the plus minus, right? Especially the starters. I mean, the Kings just could not do anything with that unit on the floor tonight. So obviously it's going to be lopsided, right? This game was not close since the first quarter. But yeah, look, I mean, this is an incredibly difficult team for this team to play against, right? So I don't want to read in too much to Fox leading them in scoring and not winning this game. They definitely had spurts where guys were producing for them off the bench. Davion had a really good, 8 to 10 minute stretch. Terrence Davis came in and hit a few threes as well. But when I think Boston scored in the third quarter on like 8 or 9 straight possessions, and I want to say half of them were threes. That's just an impossible pace to keep up with, even if you're the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah. Sorry, I was talking with Bench Matthew, trying to get him on stage here. We're having some technical difficulties, but we'll definitely get him on stage here because I want to hear from him. But as far as the team stats go, 48% tonight for the Kings as opposed to 53% for the Boston Celtics. Kings shot 38% from three-point range, 66% from the free throw line. They got out-rebounded in this game, but only by one, 43-42. 25 assists for the Kings tonight. Turnovers, big difference here. 14 turnovers for the Kings, 6 turnovers for the Boston Celtics. And then, Calvin, this is another night. Points in the paint made a big difference in this game. 56 points in the paint tonight for the Boston Celtics as opposed to only 38 for the Kings. I mean, the Celtics, they shot a lot of threes. They also got inside and just carved up this defense.
Yeah. I mean, it was total domination, really, for most of the game. And even in the first quarter, I mean, the Kings had the lead and they were knocking down threes, but Boston missed a ton of wide open shots. So I'm not sure that you can really say Sacramento outplayed Boston for any part of this game.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I enjoyed the first quarter. It was very eventful, back and forth. I was smiling. At the end of the second quarter, I was not smiling, Calvin. There was like 4 fouls in a row that went against the Kings, both offensive and defensive. And yes, if you could break down the fouls and you could say, okay, there was some contact there. It was a foul. But it just didn't seem like things were being called evenly. A foul on the Kings would not be a foul against the Boston Celtics. You talked about the difference between a guy like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and how fouls are called a little bit differently as opposed to a guy like them. Honestly, Calvin, I had flashbacks to the All-Star game when I was watching this, and I'm like, De'Aaron Fox, as amazing as he's been, he looks like the newcomer on the block that's just there trying to fit in, while Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown were doing their same exact thing, like, yo, we've been here before. We're going back to the finals. Sit back, little kid. We're gonna do our thing, and your chance is next. Honestly, that's what it felt like for a portion of this game.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I think officiating probably goes through a couple of stretches throughout most, if not every NBA game where it's not exactly even. I definitely feel like that Kings fans and Kings players and the coaching staff has, a lot to argue about in that 4-minute stretch that you were talking about there. But you look over the course of the game, Boston only shot 2 more free throws than Sacramento did. Boston also missed a ton of their free throws. They got several offensive rebounds at the fourth quarter before the game was completely out of hand. Tatum misses 2 free throws, and Grant Williams just walks in, grabs the rebound, and puts it up and in. Those are the kind of mistakes when you're playing against a team that's as good as Boston, you just can't make. I mean, as you can see, Boston took such a great advantage over all of Sacramento's mistakes. 21 points off of those 14 turnovers. They took care of the ball themselves. Really, the only thing that Boston did wrong was in the first quarter they didn't hit shots. Marcus Smart airballs 3 threes in a row. Oh, man. That was like the worst possible part of this game for Boston. Other than that, they executed fantastically, both on offense and defense. One of the things that Boston does so well on defense and why it's important in the NBA is obviously they have a great balanced lineup, right? Meaning they can switch and guard pretty much 1 through 5 all the way out. They're really, really good at stopping dribble penetration too. Even if they get beat right off the beginning, in the NBA, you always have the corner three as a bailout pass, right? When somebody drives and then they realize they don't have the lane or they don't have the angle or they get cut off by a help defender, you always have that bailout pass in the corner. Boston takes that pass away probably better than any other team I've seen in the NBA.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And you know, the Kings, sometimes I was just looking real quick how many turnovers for Domas Sabonis, 6 turnovers for him tonight. I mean, we rave about how good of a passer he is and how well the Kings move the basketball most of the time. A lot of those are fancy passes. A lot of those passes, we're like, wow, how'd that get through? You can't do that against the Boston Celtics because they always have their hands up in the passing lanes. Like you said, they're getting deflections, and that's exactly what they did in this game, was they made everything tough on the Kings. I mean, one of your keys to the game was, you know, try and stay in your don't get limited to a half-court offense.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what happened in this game. We knew Boston was going to do it, and we let them do it, Calvin. We let them do it.
Yep. There was a good stretch in the second quarter, I think it was, or maybe even the third, before this game got out of hand, where Fox I felt like he was making more of an effort to try to, even out off of a made basket, push the pace, try to get into the lane before Boston's defense was set. They just didn't really have an opportunity to do that enough tonight. And then, of course, when you're playing catch-up like that, once you get down, if it's threes on one end and then you come up with a couple of missed buckets and then you just you keep getting pelted with threes on the other end, it's almost impossible at that point. You can't really speed yourself up. You can't speed the pace of the game up. It's just demoralizing to miss a bunch of shots in a row and see the other team come down 2 crisp passes and a drained 3. They made like 4 or 5 of them in a row. It's almost, it's incredibly demoralizing for a team at that point.
It definitely is. Even when you're playing at home. And Calvin, I mean, there was a lot of Celtics fans in the building. We heard them cheering when Boston would go on runs, and Boston Celtics went on a lot of runs in this game. So always tough for the Kings. They did look tired. I'm not, screaming that the roof is or the sky is falling or anything like that. But 2 tough losses in back-to-back games for the Kings. So definitely some stuff for them to work on in the next couple days. Next game is on Friday at home against the Phoenix Suns. That's an extremely important game.
It's a big game.
Especially when we're talking about playoff seeding, because Phoenix is just below the Sacramento Kings. If the Kings would have been able to win 1 or 2 of these last 2 games, they'd be in a much better position. But Friday's game is almost a must-win in my mind.
Big game, and it's a head-to-head matchup, right? So you get a full game, extra gap there, breathing room.
Bench Matthew is having some issues connecting. It's probably Wi-Fi, would be my guess. But I got Nick here. Nick's ready, dude. He's ready to talk.
Always ready.
I'm going to bring him up here. Any guesses on what you think he's going to say the Kings didn't do in this game?
They did not guard their man. They did not stay on their man.
Okay.
And they did not light the beam.
They did not play defense.
Yeah.
You got to play defense. Yeah. All right. Well, let's hear from Nick. Yo, Nick.
What's up, guys?
What's up, dude?
What's up, man?
We lost tonight, but you know what? We got to play better. We got to step up our game. We did not play good defense. They look a little tired. They played last night. We lost last night. And we lost tonight again. So
Couldn't
it's like,
said it better myself.
they didn't show up tonight.
Definitely.
But you know what? Next game is Friday against Phoenix. You know what we got to do?
What do we got
Got
to
to
do,
show up.
Nick?
Push the basketball.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
Nick, I'm going to change the subject here for a second. Are you cool with that?
Huh?
Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and do it.
Yes.
Did you see what the Utah Jazz did last night, Nick?
They
Did you see what they did?
destroyed us, basically.
Yeah, and you know what they did after they beat us?
What did they do?
They lit their own beam.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Utah lit their own beam? Goddamn.
Right? That's exactly how I feel.
Goddamn.
That's crazy, right? That is absolutely crazy. I mean, you got any words for the Utah Jazz trying to steal our ideas?
I'm going to say, do not copy us, please.
I hate people copying me. It's fucking annoying.
I heard an F-bomb in there. I like it. I like
I hate
it.
the stadium. They always do things.
Mess with the beam, man. That gets Nick real riled up.
Nick, are you eating right now?
No, I'm not. I'm writing my friend Richard.
Sweet dreams, man.
You're doing what?
I'm with my friend Richard.
Oh, okay.
Oh, what's up, Richard?
What's up, man?
Yo,
How's
yo.
it going?
Yeah, just driving home.
He was at the game today with me today too. So
Yeah, it's that lower deck, man.
Is
What's
Richard a
that?
Kings fan?
he's at lower level.
Yeah.
Richard, you're a Kings fan?
Yeah. You know that. Yeah, I am.
All right, dude. Hell yeah.
Right.
Hell yeah. We got to stick together. Richard, what do you think the Kings did wrong tonight?
Just, I'm not too sure.
They need to play better defense. They need to show
No,
up.
the interior defense. I think we need more interior defense.
There you go.
Nick with the assist.
I like Richard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Kings probably didn't know what they were doing wrong halfway through this game. They're probably like, I don't know. They're just bigger. They're stronger. They're faster than us. They're making all their shots. We're not. They can defend us. We can't defend them. They seemed lost.
Yeah, I think they were shooting a lot of threes or something. The Celtics and they get a lot of disadvantages in the out. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a rough night all the way around. Did you guys have
It was a
any
rough night,
pizza
yeah.
at the
It started
arena
off good.
tonight?
The first quarter was good.
They started off good, but it's just it went bad. It went to bad.
It went to bad.
We just didn't
Started
show
from
up.
the bottom. Now we're on the bottom again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
we
quite
lost the
unfortunate,
game, but-
Nick. Good news. Good news if you're ready for it. Calvin booked his ticket to Sacramento.
Yes.
I have not booked mine yet, but he will be there on the 14th.
Yes.
And I will be there as well.
Okay.
So we're gonna see you, and you said you were buying us a couple slices of pizza, right?
Yes.
Perfect.
There we go.
Perfect.
We'll be hungry after a long flight.
Nick, did you wear your Light the Beam shirt tonight?
No, I did not.
Oh, maybe that's why the Kings lost.
Oh, I need to start wearing that again. I won't wear that at home too.
Yeah.
How many times have you wore the shirt, Nick?
A couple times.
Did the Kings win all those games?
Well,
Well, I'm going to take that as a yes.
Yeah.
So, Nick, I think you need to start wearing that shirt more, dude, if you want the Kings to win.
yeah.
Can you wear it on Friday?
Well, yeah, I'll be there Friday.
All right, wear your Light the Beam shirt so we can light the beam.
This guy
Yeah,
goes to
like
all the games, man. I'm so jealous.
I need
So
to
jealous.
fire the laser.
Nick's got a great life, dude. He works for the
my
River
dad.
Cats. He gets
How you say it?
discounts
How
at the
does he
team
fire
store.
the
He goes to all the
laser?
Kings
Yeah.
games. He gets to eat all the pizza he wants.
Right?
I mean, I'm a little jealous.
He's on all of the post-game
Yeah.
shows after every game.
He's famous.
Yeah.
He's famous. Well, Nick,
Yeah.
it's been awesome talking with you. Richard, it was nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll see you both in, we're like 3 weeks away.
It's getting close.
So that's exciting.
Yeah.
But you got any last words for the royal family out there?
Like the playoffs coming up.
Like the playoffs coming up.
Need more wins. Come on, wins.
Yeah? Is that your last words?
Yeah.
All right, Nick. Well, ride home safe, buddy, and we'll see you soon.
Sleep. No, it's Royal Rebounds.
Is that a different one?
Yeah, Royal Rebounds.
Oh, where rebounds? I see them on Facebook.
Yeah. Sleep dreams, Calvin.
All right, Nick. Have a good night, buddy.
Thanks, Nick.
Sleep dreams, guys.
Sweet dreams.
He says sweet dreams, Calvin.
I thought he said guys.
And then guys afterwards. I'm just thrown in there, dude. I didn't get a special call out. That's okay. I forgive him. And it's a bummer that Bench Matthews not able to join. He must be having more Wi-Fi issues.
But he's going to bring us some luck on Friday as well. He says he's going to be there wearing his Domas jersey.
Perfect.
Which I think the Kings are like 6-1 or something when he wears that jersey. So
yeah, that'd be really, really
I
cool.
just randomly threw that number out there, Bench Matthew. I have no idea what the record is. But
do you remember what we were talking about before Nick was on? defense. is
How
probably
much
what
Boston was whooping that ass tonight?
Yeah. Anyways, before we get go into any deeper anywhere else, guys, don't forget to smash up that like button. We got over 30 people watching right now. We got 13 likes. Please hit that like button. It doesn't cost anything. It really helps us a lot. It helps us grow the channel. It helps more Kings fans see this channel. So please hit the like button. You got a little burp going. That was a lot of fun. Anyways, back to the game tonight, Calvin. Another triple-double for Domas Sabonis. He seemed to be the only guy that
Oh, no way. It is 6-1. How about that?
there you go. What a memory.
How about that?
Memory. Shout out to Lane for joining in here. I don't want to say Domas was the only one doing stuff tonight, because he obviously wasn't the only guy doing stuff. But he's been playing really well lately, Calvin. And I'm not talking about 20-plus point scoring nights. He's had a lot of just 12, 15, 13, 10, 12. He's done everything for this team.
Yes, he has. I mean, he's done everything all season long, but it's definitely been taken to another level, I think, since the All-Star break. And it was just more noticeable tonight because, again, when you play a team like Boston, you think about the guys on this Kings roster that are playmakers or able to initiate their own offense even against a good defensive team, right? It's De'Aaron Fox. It's Malik Monk to some extent. Kevin Huerter.
Yep.
Davion a little bit. He showed some of that tonight. But when the rest of the team really has no opportunity to do that because they take away the backdoor cuts so well, or just cuts in general, they're really good at face guarding. And those guys like Keegan Murray, even Harrison Barnes to an extent, don't really do too much when it comes to putting the ball on the deck themselves and creating for themselves. Obviously, the thing that stands out the most is Sabonis working his tail off inside, offensive rebounds, initiating the offense for everybody else, all of that inside stuff. Yeah, it was a very physical game for sure. But when the rest of the team is basically just standing on the three-point line waiting to receive the pass and put up the shot, Sabonis looks like he's working 100 times harder out there than everybody else.
And I mentioned the turnovers and the bad free throw shooting, something I don't really like. So there's definitely some stuff to work on. Shout out to Mr. Angel here for encouraging us to commit a felony or a federal crime in the chat. Mr. Angel, we love you. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Progressive G says, hey, Calvin and Barry, is Sabonis better than Chris Webber?
Man. That's tough.
What's the right answer here? Because if you
I
say
don't know
yes,
what the
you're
right
gonna
answer
piss off
is.
a bunch of Kings
Exactly,
fans.
right?
If you say no, you're going to piss off a bunch of Kings fans.
Chris Webber kind of had two different careers also. I mean, when he first came out of Michigan and came into the NBA, that dude was one of the most athletic big men that the NBA has probably ever seen at that point. He was unstoppable.
Yeah.
And then injuries forced him to really change his game. By the time he was in Sacramento and in the later years of him playing with the Kings, his style was much more like what Sabonis' style is.
Definitely.
He didn't really play over the, above the rim or jump over everybody. Yes, Lane, he did call a timeout with no timeouts left. Thank you. But
well, let's break it down by category.
I mean, he had a really, really great career too. Sabonis is obviously going to go on to have a great career as well. But
let's break it down by category, right? Durability, you're giving that to Sabonis, right? I mean, how old is Sabonis? 26, 27?
27,
He's not very old. And he's about to have his second child, which is pretty cool. Shout out to him. Which I guess it's hard to compare a guy that young with an older guy. But I'm going to give the advantage to Sabonis on durability, right? The dude's playing with a broken thumb right now. Doesn't even bother him. Shooting. Who's a better shooter?
Probably Webber, I would say.
Okay. All around?
Yeah.
Free throws, mid-range, everything.
Yeah. I mean, Webber really developed a pretty legit 18-foot jump shot when he was in the later years.
Post-move. Post-game.
Probably Sabonis.
Sabonis?
Yeah.
Passer.
Sabonis. Although Webber was a great passer as well. Great passer. Probably Sabonis.
Okay.
I don't know how many times Webber led the NBA in rebounding.
Defense. I guess you could break down defense into a couple different categories. Rim protection.
I'm going to go with Sabonis overall on this one, I think.
Okay. That's
Weber,
all I said.
especially when he played with the Kings, was not much of a defender. Injuries definitely had an impact on that, but
Okay.
he was not much of a defender.
Mr. Angel's taking Brad Miller.
Over
Shout
both
out,
of them?
Shout out to Brad
There you
Miller. So overall, Sabonis, Weber.
I think that Sabonis will eventually be the better player. I think that at this point he's already a great player.
Yeah.
Weber was a great player for a very long time, right? And I think Sabonis will do that as well. So that's why when it's all said and done, or in 5 years from now, Sabonis will unanimously be considered the better player.
Maybe here's the better. Oh, and actually, I forgot to say, saw Matt Barnes tonight on the show. That was pretty cool. See him.
Yeah.
You know who I was not happy about seeing on there? Paul Pierce.
I know, right?
Why the hell is he on set?
No idea.
Why would you let
Get
a
that
Boston
clown out of
Celtics
there.
guy on set?
That guy was probably so happy to be on set too because
Right.
he got kicked out of every national show that he ever did.
I mean, if the Kings were doing bad, I'd be like, he's, falling when he's begging to get on Kings
Yep.
post games and stuff like that. But hey, Paul Pierce, I enjoyed him as a player. Get the hell off of our studio. Get the hell off of our studio. I guess, Calvin, the question, and I'm just reviewing some Chris Webber stats because I don't know them like the back of my hand. But damn, he's 50 now. That's crazy. He turned
Getting
50
up there.
20 days ago. I guess the better question is, if you were to replace Weber with Sabonis on that team, does that make the team better, the same, worse?
Well, I don't see how it makes them worse. I think that they're still probably, pretty close to the same team. I mean, that was the best team in the NBA for a couple of years. They got cheated out of a championship. So
Weber
hard to be better than that, right? Also, I don't think it makes them worse.
Weber made it to Sacramento when he was 25, stayed till he was about 31, then went to Philadelphia. I mean, he averaged 20 points, 13 rebounds in his first season with the Kings, then
Great numbers.
24.5 and 10, 27 and 11, 24 and 10, 23 and 10, and then it kind of drops off a little bit after that.
Yeah, I mean, they're
2010 guy.
both great players.
He's a 2010 guy.
Weber's probably a top. I mean, he's definitely a top 10 power forward of all time. So, like, it's a very close call, I think, at this point.
What do you think Chris Webber's 3-point percentage was? No, he was shooting, not a lot.
Yeah,
Less
didn't
than
really
it.
take that many.
I mean, his first 2 years, he averaged almost about an attempt a game, and then it dropped off significantly. First year in Sacramento, 11% from three-point range. That's wild. Then 28%, then 7%, 26, 23, 20. Wow, that's rough. That's not good at all.
He just didn't shoot that many either. I mean, he was lethal from that 15 to 18-foot range.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Definitely. I mean, he was shooting 48% from the field or so. Pretty consistent. Doesn't give you the assists that you get from a guy like Sabonis. That's a really tough question.
They
man.
didn't really run the offense through him the way that they run the offense through Sabonis either.
Yeah.
So he didn't maybe have as many opportunities. And Vlade was another really good passing big man, so that took some of those chances away from him as well.
I think we got to go over to Tanvir because I want to hear from him. He keeps changing his Twitter name. I don't know why he changes his Twitter name all the time.
Well, he's updating it with every Kings win or
He's
loss.
like trying to confuse me, dude, by just change his name. He's got a flag in front of there now. But I think Tanvir could probably help us with this debate here. What's up, Tanvir?
What's up, guys? How's it going, man?
It's going, man. I wish I had a beer right now.
Same here, man, but it's raining out here.
Are you working right now?
Yes, sir. You know me.
Hey,
Working.
dude, loves to work. Dude, my mom, shout out to my mom. She sent me a video earlier today of it hailing in Davis.
Oh, that's crazy.
Man,
Is it been?
that is crazy.
Has the weather been pretty crazy over there?
It's been on and off.
Okay. Is that good
Yeah.
or bad? On off.
It's all right. I don't really like the rain though.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
have you been listening about Calvin and I's little conversation about Sabonis versus Weber?
Yeah, I heard that.
I know you're a legit Kings fan and you follow everybody, so let's hear your take.
All right. What would you like to hear?
You got to find a quiet spot so you don't get in trouble.
Got to think hard about this.
No. It's a hard question right there. Put me on the spot.
I mean, not really. We've been talking about this for at least a few minutes. Who's a better passer?
Okay, all right, now I see where it's going. I'll give the best passer to Doma, 100%. As good as Weber was, the bonus is good at passing.
Okay. Better scorer.
Better score. Ooh. I'll give that to Weber, better score.
I don't know.
Tanvir, do you know what a bomb cyclone is?
Oh, no.
My mom just said in the chat that they had a bomb cyclone. Hopefully everybody's okay, Mom. That's wild.
Yeah, that is. Hopefully everyone's all right.
Never heard of a bomb cyclone.
Me neither.
Sounds like something out of a Marvel movie.
It sounds something like that.
All right, Tanvir. So I created a little bit of a distraction there to give you some time to think about who's the better player. What's your answer?
I got to give it to Domas Sabonis, the better player. Not that far off from Weber.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
As much as I love Weber, man. I love Weber. 100%.
There you go.
It's just I like Sabonis' game a lot more.
Sabonis.
But it's different, man.
It's very different.
It's hard to compare. Comparing
It's
basketball
hard.
players is just very, very difficult because it's like I'll give you an example. So everybody here loves to watch surfing, right? And for me, like I like watching surfing. Surfing's cool, but it's like I don't understand how they judge these people on surfing because it's like every wave's different. So it's like, oh, you get the primo wave. So like your set looks really good, because I'm a skateboarder. So like I'm used to like watching the X Games and other events where it's like everybody rides the same thing, right? Like you ride the same course and you do the same. Surfing's different, right? Because each wave is different. Each moment is a little bit different. Basketball is kind of the same thing. Is like each player is in a different position every game. They're in a different position in their career with the team they're in, the situations they're in, like the surroundings around them. So it's very, very hard for me to judge players, especially guys that play in different eras and guys that play different positions. But these guys, same position, basically, same team, which the team is much different. The era is different. It's very hard for me to compare.
the era. Yeah.
It is.
Calvin's going with Sabonis also.
Yeah, I mean, I think by the end of Sabonis' career, I think he will be generally
100%.
considered a better player.
100%.
I'm going with Chris Webber. Honestly.
All right, Barry. It's all good.
Yeah, I mean, talk to me, and I love Sabonis, but talk to me when the Kings make it to the Western Conference Finals, then I'll pick Sabonis.
That's fair.
All right. That's fair, bro. No problems with that. Oh, good.
I mean, it's like Sabonis has been with the Kings for one season.
Yeah.
Right.
Versus and he's broken in a bunch of records.
He's had a great one year.
Yeah, and he's been incredible and all that. But like Chris Webber is like probably the best power forward in Kings history.
Yeah, which again, that was exactly my point. Weber did this for a very, very long time. So Sabonis has definitely got some catching up to do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But he's on pace. He's on pace.
Yep.
Okay.
He's on pace.
Bench Matthew's got another one here.
Tony or Rodney?
Yeah.
I got to be honest. I'm not even sure which players we're talking about here.
Tony or Rodney?
Do you know who those guys are?
Yeah, Rodney. You don't know Rodney?
I don't know who that is.
Bench Matthew, you got to elaborate a little bit. I think I'm missing something here. Tony Hawk or Rodney Mullen. I saw the skateboard.
No wonder I didn't realize the reference.
I saw the skateboard.
Got it.
Got it. I mean, I'm just going to preface this real quick saying that I saw Tony Hawk do the first 900 live.
That's
Also,
pretty awesome.
Rodney Mullen was my favorite skateboarder of all time. Rodney Mullen is what's called a street skater, and Tony Hawk was a vert skater, and I myself was a street skater, so I go with Rodney Mullen.
The only skateboarding story I can tell is I grew up down the street from Nigel Houston.
Yeah.
And his family built for him and his siblings a huge...
Dude, we used to see that every day. Like,
is that called a half pipe?
Yeah.
And I would see them skating literally every morning, walking to school, and every afternoon on the way home. Those kids did nothing else.
Yep.
Which is obviously why he became so good.
Well, you know what pissed me off, Calvin, was when I was there, I was still helping out at the elementary school. So I think it was like fourth period or third period or something like that, where I would walk from the junior high to the elementary school to help out, which in reality, you think about this, what a waste of time. Like you have an hour and you have to commute from the school to the other school. You're there for like 20 minutes and then you got to turn around and walk all the way back. But Calvin, I guess it's hard for me to be angry because I wasn't in school at the time,
right?
Because I was walking. But those kids were there all day long, skating in the backyard.
Yeah.
All day long. And I would walk by their house every single day, and they would be there skating. Yep.
Worked out.
Sorry, Tanvir, I forgot you were here.
No problem, man.
I know you're working, so I just letting you think things through a little bit. Were you a skateboarder at all? Did you skateboard?
No, I'm not a skateboarder like you, Barry.
I mean, I was a skateboarder. Did that sound mean? He's like, not a skateboarder like you.
I don't know, but shout out to Bench Matthew because I was a rollerblader also. Roller hockey, all that stuff. I loved it. So
Rodney,
just never
all
got
the
on a
way. I
skateboard.
can't ollie, so he is my hero. Ha, ha, ha. Bench Matthew, I'll teach you how to ollie if you want. It's pretty easy, bro. I would happily teach you how to ollie.
I thought you were a skateboarder, not are a skateboarder.
Yeah, but I can still ollie. Come on, dude. I could still ollie. I could still kickflip. I could heel flip. I could varial. I can't like 3-flip or anything like that anymore, but it's like I can still do it. It's like riding a bike.
You still got it.
It's like riding a bike.
You still got
it's like
it.
riding a skateboard.
It's like riding a skateboard.
Like, for example, last week I was working with this old bartender, and I'm like, man, it's been a while since I like felt like I'm in a good flow and doing this and all this. And I was like, I can start flipping bottles again. And he's like, what? You know how to flip bottles? And I just flipped it and I caught it in the air, and I'm like, yep, feels good. All those hours, Calvin, that I wasted. I mean, I don't think I wasted it, but it's like it was waste. My talents were wasted.
Yeah.
And now
you get to use them again.
Flipping bottles again. I'm the boomer who wears a helmet and knee pads, too many concussions and blown out knees. It's okay, Matthew. You don't need knees or a head to do an ollie. You just need some ankles. I got good ankles. Anyways, back to the game. Back to Tanvir. Tanvir, tell me how important Friday's game against the Phoenix Suns is.
Yeah, that's a big game right there, man. Very important game right there. 100% very important game.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it?
It's a 10, probably like a 9.5.
Oh, wow. I was going to say 11.
Yeah, around there.
Around an 11. Okay. What do you think? What do you think, Cal?
I agree. I think there probably aren't going to be, depending on playoff seeding down the stretch, this game's going to have huge implications for all of that as well. This is the last time you get to play Phoenix.
Good night, Charles.
Before the season ends. This game, like I said, could mean, almost the difference between winning and losing the division later on down the line. So I don't see how it can't be, a 10 of importance.
So I'm looking at the injury report here. Kevin Huerter listed as out. DeAndre Ayton listed as out. Doesn't say anything here about Kevin Durant.
I think you got to go to the full injury report, but
I'm not on the full injury report?
no.
Oh, see full injury report. Duh. That's what that button does. Hold on. Now I got to scroll down here, Calvin. It's getting hot with this hoodie
A, B,
on.
C, D. There you go.
This is a great hoodie.
Yeah, there's
If
Kevin
you're
Durant.
cold, I mean, if it was hailing right now, I feel pretty protected with this nice, warm Royal Rebounds hoodie.
That's true. It's nice and thick also, so the hail would probably just bounce
Very
right
thick,
off of
and
it.
it's very warm. It looks
Yep.
good. It's stylish. RoyalRebounds.com, I think, is where you can pick
I
one up.
think so. And if you want to wait until Monday, you
No,
can
they
get
don't wanna
15% off
They want to get it now.
by
Taco
using
Tuesday.
the Merch Monday code.
I'm here on the full injury report. Kevin Durant listed as out with an ankle. Says reevaluated in 3 weeks. This was on March 9th. So that would be March 30th, if I guess correctly.
Sounds about right.
9 days till he's reevaluated.
Yep, we'll see.
That's a long time.
We'll
You think
see.
he'll ever play again?
Ever play again?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Really?
You know who else is going to play again soon? Karl Anthony Towns and possibly Anthony Edwards.
And John Morant.
Well, yeah, John Morant, but his brain was hurt. He didn't have an actual injury.
Tanvir, are you still there?
Yep, I'm still here.
I love it, dude. I love it. Dude, this is great. I love how you just are kind of in the background, and then when I got a question for you, you just like pop right up. You're ready. This is great. We're gonna have to do this more often. But
Oh yeah.
Kevin Durant. Wait, first, give me your thoughts on Kevin Durant. I need some background on Tanvir's. What's the word I'm looking for? His view.
His stance?
His stance on Kevin Durant.
Yeah, I like KD, man. There's no disrespect to him, man. He's a high-level small forward, one of the best in the game at scoring, man. There's
Okay.
nothing much I could say. He's a champion, MVP. There's many accolades he has. No disrespect to him, man. I love him.
If
I like it.
If you were to choose one kind of dessert to describe Kevin Durant, what would it be?
Ooh. As a dessert, probably an ice cream.
Okay, what about
Ice
you,
cream,
Calvin?
huh? Why? Because he's cold as ice?
Yep.
What do you think? Cupcake?
I don't know. I'm not a big dessert guy, so like, it's not a fair comparison to me because, dessert doesn't really do it for me.
Tanvir, you think that Kevin Durant will ever play again?
I think he will. I don't know about this game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to play again
I'm just thinking
this
like
season.
I mean, what if he gets injured in practice again?
That would be really unfortunate.
Yeah,
That
it's
would be
possible.
unfortunate for sure.
A slip and fall
A slip and
is
fall.
what they called it.
Yep.
What a weird injury. I got to watch
That
that
is.
video again. It looks so awkward. so weird.
Gilbert says he's an almond joy.
Yeah, that's a good
I
one.
can only assume that's bad because most people hate almond joy.
And a Babe Ruth. I mean, Good and Plenty. A lot of people hate
Good and
those.
Plenty.
I like Good and Plenties. So maybe he's not a
Yeah.
Good and Plenty.
I mean, like I said, dessert is. I got to be in the right mood for it.
Yeah. Shout out to my cousin Brendan, because you played ball with Brendan before, right?
I
Didn't we
don't
play?
know if we ever played together.
I thought we played in the gym once here. Anyways,
Maybe.
Kevin Durant was dude's favorite player growing up.
A lot of people.
Absolute favorite player. He modeled everything after him. You see him take a jump shot, it looks exactly like KD's jump shot. It's crazy.
Wow.
It's smooth. It looks good. He's wet. It's pretty impressive. He looks exactly like KD when he shoots.
That's very impressive.
It's pretty wild. I'll have to show you next time. He's pretty good. But yeah, he's had the same injuries. Wasn't able to stay on the court, so that's quite unfortunate. Okay. Anything else you want to talk about, Calvin, regarding this game tonight before we move on? I mean, we kind of already moved on to Phoenix, but any last thoughts about the Boston Celtics and how horrible their mascot is or anything like that?
Oh, the mascot's terrible.
Yeah.
And we're just coming off St. Patrick's Day. I mean, it just has leaves a bad taste in your mouth for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. What do you think, Tanvir?
Yeah, I think it's up there. But I think the Pelicans are worse.
Yeah, it keeps throwing those Pelicans in there. I love it. The They need to be the Jazz again. I was watching the Jazz game last night. First off, I was watching the game, and all I could think about the first half is I'm like, Donovan Mitchell's right. I'm looking around, and I'm like, Donovan Mitchell is so right looking at this crowd. But the Jazz's stupid name for a team in Utah. It should be the New Orleans Jazz.
Should be.
The Utah Pelicans. You think that would stick?
The Utah
I don't know about
Pelicans.
What's a good name for Utah?
Storm and Mormons.
No, I don't think that's allowed, Calvin. What do you think, Tanvir?
That's a tough one.
What is there in Utah? Mountains?
It's a lot of mountains.
A lot of
Tabernacle. There you go.
The Utah basketball team.
The
There you
Utah Sister Wives.
Wow, Calvin's hating right here. We're going to get canceled. Yeah, the Wilderness. That's a good one, Gilbert. The Utah Wilderness. Anyways, get rid of the Pelicans. New Orleans Jazz.
Yeah.
Such a good team name.
Definitely.
Such a good team name. Much better than the
That sounds
Pelicans.
better.
But
Mountaineers is not bad.
Tanvir derailed this conversation, so I'm going to try and get it back. Kings just had 5 games in 7 nights. They got 2 games off here. Sorry, 2 days off here. Man, I'm in the full injury report. I got to get all the way back to the schedule now. And then they take on the Phoenix Suns here on Friday. Last game against Phoenix, they won. It was in Phoenix, 128-119. The game before that was a pretty rough loss before the All-Star break. The Kings lost 120-109. But this game Friday is in Sacramento, and then a back-to-back on Saturday against this same lame Utah Jazz team. Calvin, give me your keys to the game on Friday.
Uh-oh.
Right as your computer
Right
dies.
as the computer goes down. Don't worry, we'll get it back.
And while you're doing that, I'm just going to count. So the Kings have 2 days off. They play Friday, Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's how many days off here? That's Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday off. That's it. 3 days off, 5 basketball games. That's 5 games in 8 nights.
Yeah, again, after 5 games in 7 nights this past week.
Yeah, that's wild.
It is quite literally a race to the finish line.
That is absolutely crazy. You got your keys ready?
I do have them ready.
Before you read them off, Tanvir, what are your keys to the game on Friday?
Ooh, my keys would be you got to defend the three-pointer. That's 100% didn't do today.
Okay.
Which kind of, yeah. There's that. You got to get the rebound.
Okay.
Got to get the offense one through Doma. That's pretty much it.
How many keys is that?
I
Wait.
think that's 3.
Guard the
That's
3.
Guard the 3.
Guard
Rebound.
the 3.
Gets
Rebound and feeds the bonus.
feed Sabonis.
Feed Sabonis.
Okay, so you want Sabonis being like a little bit more aggressive, going to the basket, trying to score instead of pass the ball out so much?
Yeah. I
Okay.
want to see him more
I love
aggressive.
it. I love it when he's
Yeah.
aggressive at the basket. I love it when he's
Definitely.
dunking the basketball. I absolutely love it when Domas is dunking the basketball. Calvin,
The only thing I don't love is when he doesn't get foul calls.
yeah, that pisses me off.
Yep.
Calvin, what are your keys?
My keys are, number 1, get to the free throw line early and often. Phoenix allows a ton of free throw attempts, over 25 a game, which is, the bottom third of the NBA. In that last meeting back in Phoenix that you just spoke about, the Kings were 31 of 37 at the free throw line in that game. They definitely got to the line a ton, and they also converted, unlike today. So that'll definitely be a good way for them to kind of, manage the runs. Like in this game, if they were able to get to the free throw line more, or they got more calls, either way, that might have helped break up some of those Boston runs. Number 2 is pick and roll defense. Chris Paul absolutely shredded them in the last game. He had 16 assists. Him and Ayton were really solid in that pick and roll game all night long. And the Suns have killed the Kings scoring in the paint this season. A lot of that comes from that initial pick and roll between Paul and Ayton. And then number 3 is going to be fourth quarter execution. All 3 games this season against Phoenix have been very close, highly contested, came down to the last few minutes, before one team maybe was able to get a little bit more of a cushion. But they've all been very, very close games. So the fourth quarter has been when the Kings have been at their best. So far this season, we want to see that come to fruition again. Fox be able to execute in the clutch, and the defense pick it up a notch, turn it up a notch.
I like it. So
I like it
guard
too.
the three-point line, offensive rebounds. Oh, nope, sorry. Wrong game. Shoot lots of free throws, pick and roll defense, fourth quarter defense. Yeah, I mean, that's all great. As long as the Kings are able to play well in the first quarter and not get down 25 points. I mean, it doesn't
of course,
matter
that's going to be part of it.
What your fourth quarter defense looks like if you're down so much, which is unfortunate.
No, that's true. I mean, I'm more assuming or thinking that this game is going to be a close game again because they've played this team pretty evenly so far. Kevin Durant will again not be playing, so that they don't have that extra wrinkle to throw in there. It's the same squad that they're used to. I think it will come down to the fourth quarter again, and the Kings, have won a lot of those games this year. So
yes, they have. Tanvir,
Yep.
I'm reading a tweet here from Sactown Pete. Shout out to Pete. Love Pete.
100% shout out to Pete.
He says, quote, "Why are some losing faith? I'm not understanding this hate. We are playing a really good Celtics team that made the finals last year. Little adversity, and y'all want to flip-flop. Cool. Don't let the door hit you on the way out." Oh, I think I'm supposed to ask a question.
Yeah, I was confused with it. I was like, okay.
What do you think of that? What do you think of that, Tanvir? Because I gotta say, dude, I love Pete, but Pete's got a tough job like us, where we kind of like, it's not even really a job, right? Like, we put ourselves in this position where we make a video after every single Kings game. I know Pete does the same thing. He makes a video after every single Kings game, and I think that he has a little bit of an advantage over us in terms that he doesn't go live, so he can kind of control his emotions a little bit more, and it's not like right after the game's over, like, hey, this is what's going on. Like, you guys have seen me sometimes where I'm just crazy. But, I mean, Pete deals with the ups. He deals with the downs. Obviously, he's well connected with Davion and all that group, and he loves the Kings. But I think a lot of fans feel negative after a lot of these losses, and maybe that's, like I said earlier in the stream, because they reevaluate their expectations as the team continues to get better. They go into games like this thinking that we should win this game, where if you look at Pete's perspective, Celtics made the finals last year. He's just happy to be here, which I agree with. I'm the same point. I'm just happy to be where we're at right now. Of course, I don't like to throw shade at other Kings fans, but I understand why he would want to stand up for his team.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? You feel similar to Pete?
Like indifferent. I'm happy where the team is, man. Can't really do anything else about it. It is what it is. That's what I think.
What do you think's like the best thing to do after a tough loss? Like, as a fan, what do you like to do? Because honestly, like, I myself am much different than I was 5 years ago, where 5 years ago the Kings are losing by 20. I shut the TV off. I turn off Sports Center. I don't even want to talk about the Kings or look or see anything that says Sacramento Kings on it for like the next day. Now I force myself into situations like this where I have to talk about it, and I have to like kind of live in the moment, experience the emotions, see where everything's at. And I kind of think that that's where Pete's at right now too, right? As he's going through all the emotions.
Yeah.
What's best for you? Do you like to experience everything, or you shut it down?
Hey, man, I just like to enjoy whatever's going on, man. You lose, you win. It's just sports, man. I understand how fans feel, but you just got to cope with it. Whatever happens, happens, man. Let's move on, get ready for the next game.
It's a great way to look at it. What do you think players should do? Like, what if you're a player, how are you looking at this? Because I feel like on one hand, it's good to have that next game mentality, right? Where it's like, oh, this is over. We're moving on to the next game. But I also feel like some of the best players of all time, the ones that win it all, the ones that are the best, they can't sleep after a game like this. They lose a game like this. Like, for example, I don't know if you watched The Last Dance, but Michael Jordan was making stuff up in his head about why he hated people just to give him that motivation and that killer instinct. I'm sure a lot of guys do that, like Kobe Bryant, and maybe not make up things, but it's just like
I was going to say, I don't think a lot of guys do that.
No, but I'm just saying
I don't think a lot of guys do that.
they use hurtful feelings as motivation to not be in that situation again, right? They're like, this is how I feel right now. I never want to feel this again, so I'm going to be in the gym twice as hard, and I'm going to use this to push me forward. So what is the right balance between next game, not worried about this one, versus dwelling over this to help improve yourself?
Well, I think you just gotta, whatever makes you like stay out of that mentality. Like if you are tired of losing, and then you go into the gym, do all this hard work, and then you still come out losing. But at the end of the day, NBA is a whole different type of league now. Just gotta keep doing what you're doing, keep your head up, because losing is just part of the game. That's all what I think, man.
Man, I'm asking the hard questions tonight.
You are asking some really tough ones.
You are.
I'm asking tough questions.
I like it, bro. I like it.
What do you think, Calvin?
I think that's an individual thing. You know, you're asking me what the average player should do.
Yeah.
All these guys are made up a little bit differently.
Well, nobody wants to be average.
Of course,
Yeah,
no one
no,
wants to be average.
100%.
But that's my point, is that I don't think this is a one-size-fits-all answer here. You know, the bottom line, I think, is tough games in the regular season should definitely bother you, and you should go to the film and you should look at what happened and try to learn from those mistakes that you made.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of, like, you know, staying with you for long periods of time, that's when I think you're being a little too obsessive over one game. Playoff games are different. If you make it to the playoffs and you lose in the first round and it's your first time in the playoffs, that's going to haunt you for the whole summer, right? It should motivate you to work hard, all this stuff, come back and be ready for training camp next season, a different player. But I do think that when you're in the middle of an NBA season, especially coming down a playoff stretch run here, you do have to be able to move on to the next game pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe, so you're saying there should be a different mindset for playoff games versus regular season games? Or?
I'm saying that would be the mindset for me personally. Okay. I played in one playoff game in high school. One playoff game. It was my senior year.
Yeah.
And we lost badly. And that was the last game of my high school career.
And you still feel
and I was pretty upset about it.
Yeah.
We lost a bunch of games in the regular season too that I was obviously upset about.
Yeah.
But I still think about that playoff game today.
Okay. Nice. All right. Well, we got something to work out, Calvin. We got to recreate this game. We got to build a time machine, go back to high school, and win that game, Calvin.
That's a tough task. We played a very good team.
Well, Tanvir's always working, dude. I'm sure he can figure it out.
There you go.
Anyways, we're just rambling at this point, but we appreciate everybody for hanging out tonight. Hopefully you guys had fun. Hopefully you feel a little bit better than after the loss, because I know that's always tough. But honestly, Calvin, I feel like I've turned over a new leaf in the past month. I have.
I don't hear you say that very often.
I know, right? But I felt like, I don't know, I'm just not angry after losses right now. I don't know why.
Okay.
I just don't feel that angry.
You think it's because they're 11-4 since the All-Star break?
Probably. But, like, I used to just be so mad after the losses, and I'm sure when the playoffs come, it's going to be a little bit different. If they lose Friday's game against Phoenix, which I know is a really big game, I'm going to feel a little bit different. Maybe I'm getting complacent. Maybe, I don't know, Calvin. I feel like my goals for the season have already been accomplished. And maybe that's bad. Maybe people want to hate on me for taking my foot off the gas. Honestly, I have no control over the Kings. I have no control over how well they do. All I have is control over myself and over my emotions sometimes and over the things that I say most of the time. So I'm not even angry, Calvin, when they lose the game right now. I feel like the Kings have improved greatly this year. Greatly. They're going to make the playoffs. All these little bumps in the road that are happening like right now, like last night, tonight, that's a pretty big bump. There are 2 bumps in a row. But they're all things to learn off of. They're all things to build off of to get better. And I guess the reason why is I feel like I have a lot more trust for this team than I've had in the past few years.
Yeah.
And this is stupid, and it doesn't make any sense at all, but I don't have to be angry because I know that Domas and De'Aaron and Mike Brown and Monty are angry that they lost tonight. And they're angry that they lost last night. And they're going to work hard to fix it and figure out a way to get better.
Yeah, and nobody likes to lose.
Maybe I haven't felt like that with past teams. When I saw Buddy Hield smiling after a loss and going over and talking with the other team and all happy, and I'm like, I am dying over here. I'm just dying. And these guys are having the time of their lives out on the court. Nothing matters. And I feel like things have changed a little bit.
I think I agree with that. So I can totally understand why you might be a little more at ease watching this team.
I have not had a beverage today. I've not had alcoholic beverage today. So, no, I have not been drinking. I've been drinking the King's Kool-Aid, I guess you could say.
We're all drinking the King's Kool-Aid, bro.
What's up, Tanvir?
I said we're all drinking that King's Kool-Aid, bro.
I mean, did anything that I just say make any sense?
It made all sense, bro.
Okay. Perfect. Dude, Tanvir's my guy.
Speaks Barry.
We're always on the same page.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I guess it's trust. I just trust them a little bit more now. And maybe that's why I'm not so angry, because I'm like, they're dealing with it, and I expect them to come back and be better.
Yeah. I mean, I think just like the players, right? You deal with your frustrations in your own personal way, whether that's, you got to go to the gym at 4 a.m. and get up a ton of shots because you missed too many free throws yesterday, or you just have to go home and play some relaxing music and kind of zone out and let all the distractions melt away around you. There's a lot of different ways to go about it.
Yep.
But, yeah, I mean, you're right. This team definitely – they've talked about it all season long, about how important this season is to this team, to the city, to the fan base. They understand what's at stake, all of that stuff. That's the culture change that we've been looking for on this team for 15 years or whatever.
What's all these Fleetwood Mac songs that are being shown here in the chat?
I'm not sure. Do you guys know that Barry works at Mick Fleetwood's restaurant here in Maui?
Yeah, and there's a Fleetwood Mac concert tonight.
Oh, wow. And you don't have to work.
No, I'm a daytime guy.
I know. I'm surprised they didn't try to swindle you into it.
No, they know. They know.
They know.
They know. Shout out to Matt. Yeah, there's a concert tonight there. Fleetwood is playing. Every single day, and it's kind of crazy because I don't really think about it anymore, but they play Fleetwood Mac music all day long, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, all day long.
Of course.
And so the people that come in and they sit at the bar, they think it's hilarious because they're like, oh, wow. And they're like, do you know this song? And they ask me all these questions. I'm like, what? Like, oh, I didn't even realize music was playing because I just zone it all out. I didn't even think about it. But, yeah, it's pretty unreal to think about that whole experience. Anyways, I'm rambling again. But thank you guys so much for hanging out. We appreciate you all. Unfortunately, the Kings lose tonight to the Boston Celtics. I didn't even use any of these other awesome graphics here. Next game is Friday versus the Phoenix Suns. That is a home game in Sacramento. Calvin and I will be live directly after the game here on YouTube, also on Twitter Spaces. Shout out to Tanvir for joining us tonight. Shout out to Elizabeth for joining and listening on Twitter Spaces, and all my royal family here in the chat. You guys are awesome. But hey, I think things are going to get better. Please don't take this loss too seriously, Kings fans. It is what it is.
Yep.
It's a great Boston Celtics team. The Kings are much improved over the past, 16 seasons. Let them deal with it. Let them handle it. Just be a fan. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy the moment, like Tanvir says. And the wins will come.
Yep.
That's true. I mean, being a fan is also pretty open-ended, right? Like, you can be a fan how you want to be a fan. Most fans overreact initially. I think it's totally fine to vent a little bit.
Yeah.
And then wake up the next morning and be like, oh, you know what? We're still in third place. It's okay.
Yeah.
But you can be frustrated in the moment.
It is okay. Tanvir, last words to you, buddy.
What's up?
I'm ending the show. Can you end it for me?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for everyone that's been watching. Shout out to the bouncer. He said no one gives me a shout out, so I gave him a shout out. Hit that like, that subscribe button, all that good stuff, and we'll see you guys next time.